Okay. I was just getting ready to head to the bush. I had a story for you guys about something weird that happened this morning, and I just heard a huge crack right here in the woods. Didn't even have time to get the camera on because I'm not even out of the yard yet. It was a loud crack, like a breaking limb. Alright guys, the bugs are absolutely 100% terrible, and I knew that, but I had a plan today to go back in here, check on the hunting blind, and do the trail for you guys. I was up this morning, first light, so you can see the sun's quite a ways up there. It's after 8 o'clock now, but I was out here at 5 o'clock this morning with the scope, and I was filming birds. And I got some cool, great stuff. However, as I was standing out here, I heard weird whistling. And you tell me if this is any friggin' bird you know. I mean, it's not a bird. I don't know what it is. This is the weird, bad whistling that we've heard many times. And I'll show you guys where I am. I'm right at the edge of my lawn, okay? So we're back 100 meters behind my house. There's my house, and here is the swamp that we go into that goes south for miles and miles and miles, okay? So I was out here filming up in the poplar trees. There's some yellow bellied sapsuckers, and they've got a nest up there. And I was filming them this morning and whatever else I could find. So, and then this was a few hours ago, okay? Look, I'll show you guys. This is how friggin' bad the mosquitoes are. Like, you literally 10 seconds and you're just covered in them. So then I just walked past the corner of the house there, heading for the trail this morning. Didn't even have time to get this thing down, get my gloves on. You know, I was going to do all that when I got back here to the trail, and as I was coming around the corner of the house, I heard a loud crash right here, literally, a minute ago. So what the hell is it? Something trying to get out of these bugs, no doubt, because there's no way anything can survive in there this time of year. I'm telling you, it's bad. All right, we're gonna head back into the clearing where I've got, 600 meters where I've got the first trail camera. And we'll talk there. Maybe I should run the camera the whole way because God knows what I'll hear. Yeah, you know what? Let me get my gloves on and my stuff set up, and we're gonna turn the camera on and we'll film in. All right, that's better. Not a lot, not perfect, but it annoys me, guys, when stuff like that happens and I don't catch it on film, because I hate those channels that can't show you what's going on, right? And I do my best. And that has happened a few times where I get home and I think, oh, we're in the yard, we can shut the camera off, and then stuff like that happens, right? Well, this happened to be the reverse, where I didn't even get out of the yard. You know, could it have been a deer taking off? I don't think so. Because I didn't hear any running noise of an animal. I just heard the loud crack of either a rotten stump being pushed over or a tree branch breaking off. And that was all I heard, one loud crash. Oh, they're getting me through my shirt. Oh my God. This is why the Bigfoot channel hasn't been updated in a couple of weeks, guys. It's just too nasty to come back here. Oh my God, ouch. Can I show you? Oh, through my glove. They are getting me through my freaking glove. I don't know if I'm impressing upon you guys how bad these bugs are, and they're getting me through my clothes. Oh. I told you guys I found a new respect for how bad these woods were when I went to Costa Rica and didn't see a mosquito for 10 days. And that's freaking jungle. Swamp, jungle, wetland. Ah. I'm telling you guys, I don't know. I mean, yes, of course animals survive out here. Moose, deer, bear. Okay, but you see each one of those deal with the flies by going to open areas and getting in the breeze, right? The bears climb the poplar trees this time of year, and you'll see them sitting up there in the trees in the breeze to get out of this. They're out in the open fields, morning and evening. Same thing with the deer and the moose. The moose, right along the side of the highway. Anywhere there's an open swamp, there's moose standing out there to get out of the flies. You know, if Bigfoot's here and he exists, where does he go? You know? He's not sitting out here in this all day. I'll tell you right now, it's bad. Oh man, it just makes me want, my skin is crawling. You just don't go in the bush this time of year for about a month. It's just that bad. Alright guys, this is as far as I'm going to go today. I just can't go any further. The bugs are too bad. I collected the SD card from the trail camera that's here in this clearing. And I took some plastic bird feeders that I had made before. I wanted to get those out of here and replace them because they get ripped after a season of winter. You know, they get full of ice and water and then they get pulled out of the tree. So they're just made from plastic bottles and things that I had. So I wanted to get those out of here. And I had hoped to do a loop from here and go around up to the hunting blind, but the bugs are just too bad. So there is one more thing I could do while we're out here. We're not back quite as far as I wanted to, but I also wanted to do a little bit of just to run the hack shack for a minute, because I mentioned in one of the other videos that on the other channel on Frequent and World, that when I was researching the murder case that I'm working on over there, I had seen an article in the corner of one of the pages, and I just read it. It was a local article, and it was on a girl that died at Descheny Falls. 1990, I had just gone into grade 9. She was a grade 9 student, so she was the exact same age as me. And didn't go to my high school though. She went with some friends to Descheny Falls. They were done exams. They were driving around. They wanted to find somewhere to swim and just celebrate, you know, being done school. And tragically, they went up there, and it's a very rocky, dangerous place. I've showed you guys Descheny Falls on my channel. And I guess the boys went, and there's a big rock with a pool, an 8-foot deep pool underneath it, but you have to jump out to get into the pool. And unfortunately, the boys were jumping into the pool, doing it no problem, and the two girls decided that they were going to try, and Christine Wright was her name, I believe, and she chickened out or had second thoughts at the last minute, got to the edge of the drop, and she tried to stop herself, and she slipped, and over she went. She landed on the rocks below, and subsequently the next day she died. Terrible, you know, it broke my heart to hear that. But the strange thing is, guys, that I've had 2 dreams about it. Now, it could just be coincidence that, you know, it's on my mind. I thought about that. So I mentioned it on the channel the other day when I was out with my buddy Doug. We were doing an actual investigation at the graves of Carol and Jack McWilliams. And I mentioned to him that I had had a dream. Well, last night, guys, I had another dream. So I thought maybe we'd come back to an area like this. It's all granite, you know, if that has anything to do with anything. And try running the spirit box just for a quick minute to see if I could get, you know, that person's name to come through or something about that event to come through. And again, so I've got my phone here that has no chip in it. It's not attached to internet or anything like that. It does have necrophonic on it. This is my S20. And let's just run a quick session. I'm not even going to ask any questions. I just want to see, you know, is there a reason why I'm having these dreams? Is it just coincidence? Is it just me thinking about it and going, oh, that's terrible? Or is there more to it? You know, is she trying to contact me and say something? I don't know, guys. I don't remember what the dreams contain. I don't know what happens in the dream. I just know I'm dreaming that I'm at the falls and she's there and she falls in and dies. I'm not even going to ask any questions. Let's just turn this on. All right, I didn't hear anything, guys. I was kind of listening for her name or the falls or anything. I didn't pick anything up like that. So I don't know. Do I need to ask questions? I don't know. Does that taint the experiment when I ask questions? Because I'm thinking about, you know, I'm wanting to hear certain things and I'm listening for those things, I don't know. I was listening for those things, I guess, right there anyway, so I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. I'm looking for more proof. I want to take this to different areas and places. I mean, I've had so much proof. I don't know why I'm still doubting it, but... Okay, you know what? Never mind. We're just going to analyze that 2 minutes right there. What did it say? I have the feeling that it was going to talk about her. That's why I wanted to do that today.
All right, guys. Seeing as we did that little session in the woods, I figured I'd better show you. This was one of the clippings I found. This is Descheny Falls. I've taken you guys there before. And this is the inquiry. Inquest jurors tour the scene Wednesday where Christine Wright fell onto rocks and later died. OPP Constable Rick Phillips, one of the officers who investigated the accident, points out the rock ledge where the girl fell into Descheny Falls. And I'm going to just read this article for those of you who are interested. Friends did their best to save girl after fall. Internal injuries doomed a North Bay girl who fell 17 feet onto rocks at Descheny Falls despite the efforts of schoolmates to save her, a coroner's inquest heard Wednesday. The 17s gave Christine Wright, 14, whatever chance of survival she might have had after she tumbled from a rock ledge June 19th. Ambulance attendant Sean Mitchell told coroner Dr. David Delandria and a 5-member jury on the first day of the inquest. But the St. Joseph Schollard Hall grade 9 student was bleeding to death through an inoperable shattered liver, said Dr. A.M. Dougal, duty surgeon at North Bay Civic Hospital that day. Her trip to the popular West End swimming hole to cool off after a morning exam ended in an airlift to a Hamilton hospital where she died early the next morning without regaining consciousness. It was a day of emotional and often graphic testimony that saw a teenage witness flee sobbing from the courtroom as the 3 women, 2-man jury heard details of when and where and how Christine died. We are here today to speak on Christine's behalf, said Dr. Delandria, to ensure that similar deaths do not happen in the future. The inquest heard that the teens met after the exam, drove around the city, and then decided among themselves to go swimming at Descheny Falls. Witnesses, including Christine's mother, Francine Wright, said they weren't aware of any danger. That was the only place to go, said driver Jamie Turney, then a 17-year-old grade 11 student at Chippewa Secondary School. Lake Nipissing was too polluted and Trout Lake was too cold at that time of year. About 10:45 a.m. they parked beside Highway 17 West and took a trail up to a 12 by 22-foot pool. The falls, Mr. Tierney and SJSH student Chad Hiru, 15, jumped or dove into the 8-foot deep pool 3 or 4 times before Christine and Karina Tuftrup decided to try. Chad told Christine if she didn't think she could do it, then not to, and said Miss Tuftrup, who later broke down describing her friend's fall. He told her to jump the first time, not to dive. It looked like she, Christine, was going to either jump or dive and either changed her mind or lost her balance and went down head first, Mr. Tierney said. Mr. Huru said Christine fell at an angle, striking her stomach and head on the rocks, and then slipped underwater. I dove in and pulled her out, Mr. Tierney said. She had a bit of blood coming out of her nose and mouth and a big bump on her forehead, and her eyes were open, but she wasn't there. He pushed on her stomach to get her breathing, and the other teens supported her against a rock while he drove to an Algonquin Avenue gas bar for help. Ambulance driver Frank May said the unresponsive girl started thrashing and screaming as she was moved down the treacherous trail by stretcher. She at one point, when I called her name, turned and looked at me, Mr. Mitchell said, but that was the most she ever did. And that's all I'm going to read on that, guys, because as we know, she died the following day. So very tragic, and it makes me extremely sad. It's just a case that caught my attention, and I thought after all these years, maybe sharing it was the right thing to do.